Did you know why Buddhist temples and monasteries are often located in remote areas? Why is the life of a Buddhist monk so simple, so minimalist? Why do they advocate celibacy? Why do all Buddhist monks shave their heads? Hello, and welcome back to my channel, and welcome to another video. If you are new to this channel, my name is Frank Zhu, and I'm a college professor teaching sociology, history, and philosophy. I'm also an award-winning landscape photographer. So, today's video is about Buddhism, or more specifically, about the Four Noble Truths, which are the essence and the foundation of Buddhism. I actually touched upon them when I was talking about the Buddha in one of my previous videos. But in today's video, I would like to dig a little bit deeper. Before I go any further, however, I would like to mention that Buddhism is considered by many people, myself included, as both a religion and a philosophy. As a matter of fact, in my view, Buddhism is more of a philosophy than a religion. First, what the Buddha preached was not religious dogma or very rigid doctrines, but practical ideas about nature and life. Besides, the Buddha is not considered by his followers as God. Secondly, Buddhism has a lot in common with other philosophies, such as Stoicism, which emphasizes that our material possessions are of little importance to our social life. Finally, as I will explain later on, the teachings of the Buddha can be helpful to many people in many situations, making it the most applicable religion in the world. For Buddhists, the Four Noble Truths are the universal truths, the true realities of this world, and the only truth which can liberate people from their miserable life. In simple terms, the Four Noble Truths are: 1. Everybody is suffering. 2. Suffering has an origin. 3. Suffering has an end. And number 4, there is a cause to bring an end to suffering. In the eyes of Buddhists, the Buddha was like a doctor. He first diagnosed the problem and identified its cause. Then he saw a cure. Finally, he gave the prescription. Now, let me elaborate a little bit on each of these Four Noble Truths and share with you some of my thoughts. First of all, according to the Buddha, we are all born into this world of suffering, and nobody can avoid suffering. According to Buddhist traditions, the three most obvious kinds of suffering which the Buddha saw on his first adventure outside his palace were old age, sickness, and death. We don't want to become old, but no one can avoid it. We may fall sick any time, and some people are chronically sick. We want to live forever and get scared of death when we are old. But all of us will die sooner or later. Suffering may also come in the form of inward struggle. We try to know who we really are, but many of us never get a true answer. We try to find the meaning of our life, but few of us know where to find it. We try to establish and maintain good relationships with other people. We try to be successful in everything we do, but success seems so far away. In one word, suffering is a fundamental part of the human life. Well, Is that universally true? Some may say yes, others may say no. Personally, I believe that Buddhism makes more sense than any other major religion. It offers many practical tools and advice for our daily life. However, from a philosophical point of view, I also see a few challenges to its belief and teaching of suffering. First, this principle of Buddhism is too pessimistic about the world. It only sees one side of things and ignores the positive side of everything. Furthermore, suffering is oftentimes only temporary. Yes, it is true that we get sick, we feel frustrated, and we are disappointed sometimes. But it is not always the case with everybody all the time. For example, we have moments of joy and happiness in our life when we have successfully achieved what we wanted. In the second noble truth, the Buddha claimed he found the root cause of all suffering, that is, desire. According to him, desire comes in three different forms: greed, ignorance or delusion, and hatred and revenge. The greed for material goods can never be fully satisfied. As a result, desiring for them can only bring more suffering. Ignorance is people's inability to see the world as it is. If you can't get away from hustles and bustles of everyday life and concentrate your mind, you are unable to grasp the true nature of things. And the true nature of this world is that nothing is permanent. All vices come from this ignorance, according to the Buddha. Finally, many people feel the urge to take revenge without realizing that revenge only breeds more revenge. All those desires are the origin of suffering. Well, I agree that everyone has desires. But for me, not all desires are the same. The fact that we have desires is actually beneficial. What the world and the human life would become if people don't have desires? It is the desire for something better, the desire for a better life, that drives people to work hard and to improve the world and themselves. Moreover, we need to distinguish desire from greed. Yes, greed is something we should get rid of, because greed is excessive and selfish desire for more. But there are many good desires which encourage positive thinking and action. Now, let us move on to the noble truth number 3. There is an end to suffering. Here, the Buddha saw a way to escape from suffering. He taught that the only way is to liberate yourself from desires and from attachment. Anything you feel attached to becomes a source of suffering. The world keeps changing all the time. There is never anything that you can forever attach or cling to in the first place. You thought you had something and you loved it, but it is actually no longer what it was after you have got attached to it. Once you realize this, it is the beginning of the end of suffering. Such a realization is the true way by which we can escape suffering. Like any other religion, Buddhism provides its believers with a sense of hope, which in my view is a major characteristic and attraction of every religion. The Buddha was basically saying to his followers, don't worry about the suffering. This is not the end of the world. If you follow me to do what I teach you to do, you will be okay. The Buddha taught his followers to get rid of all attachments. However, I can't help thinking, are all attachments equally bad? What about marriage or friendship? In the Fourth Noble Truth, the Buddha provided his followers with a method for escaping suffering. According to Buddhism, there are three paths we can take. Number one, the path of wisdom. That is, to understand the true nature. Number two, the path of ethical conduct. That is, to behave properly and take the right action. And number three, meditation. That is, to put your mind in the right state so that you can calm the mind. The Buddha must have realized that not everyone could become wise, and not everyone knew what was the right thing to do. So, for those people who cannot become wise and those who can't take the right action, the best path to escape suffering is through practicing meditation. What meditation teaches you, according to Buddhism, is to know how to concentrate your mind. Once you become so concentrated, you would forget everything, and you won't feel anything. There would be no pain, no desire, no attachment, therefore no suffering. I personally don't practice meditation very often, and I don't claim that I know a lot about meditation. But I do know that it is both a physical and a mental practice that requires some kind of skills and techniques so that you can focus and clear your mind. I will not say that meditation is the most effective way of getting rid of suffering. But I will say that regular and proper meditation is quite beneficial. It helps build an awareness of your body and the environment. It fosters resilience in your body and in your mind. Most of all, it trains you to be patient, and it helps lower anxiety and stress. Now, let me go back to the questions that I put to you at the very beginning of this video. Why do monks and nuns live in temples far away from the human civilizations? Well, that is because in this way they avoid being distracted by all kinds of temptations, such as delicious meat or wine or beautiful women. Why do they advocate celibacy and suppress their sexual desire? Well, that's because a sexual desire will bring more desire, which is continuous suffering. Why do they shave their heads? The answer is simple. When you grow your hair long, it becomes an attachment and you have to take care of it, which prevents you from concentrating your mind on something more important. Well, I think that is all for today's video. As always, thank you so much for watching, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one.